time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse, mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. I sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Apply myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Apply myself.
Welcome back to Carl Talking College, CTC. I'm your host, Carl, and I'm back to recap a sad day, the national championship. Just a sad day because college basketball won't be back till November. College football won't be back until August. So we gotta find something to do with ourselves. But I got two guests with me. I'm gonna introduce them after I do my little rundown. So I would like to ask for y'all to like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps my channel, Carl Talking College, by the Refuse to Lose Network. Right there. It helps the shows like BWT, Baseball with Teddy, who just recapped the Yankees and Blue Jays. It helps shows like The Main Show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave, who actually been talking college lately. I've been sick. I've been at work. I couldn't hop on to talk to college with them, but the past 2 days have been some college topics. We got Joe King Talk, which playoffs around the corner, so he got some topics coming up for y'all soon. RBO, Real Ballers Only. Vaughn just did an episode today. I got to catch it. I was at work. From the title, I saw it's about the Bucks and the regular season finale of RBO. We got Dave's Doghouse, which I believe will be going live tomorrow, where he makes dogs. I'm assuming I know which one of the dogs is going to be, maybe even two. And he puts people in a doghouse. I might even know who's going in a doghouse. But yeah, just check that out Wednesday. We got In the Red Corner featuring Ty, Ricky, and Faz Camp, who went live yesterday. Yesterday was Monday. So make sure to check that out. And last but certainly not least, we got FFC Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs. He's been talking about the offseason, draft stuff. So you want to listen about that, make sure you check it in there. But please like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel. It helps the network grow. Now, shout out Joe being the first one with the fire emojis. Appreciate it, my boy. We got Dave. Oh, yeah, who you thinking about? I don't want to spoil it on my show. I hit you in the chat. Speaking of the chat, to be in the chat, got to be a member. $2.99 for the pro level, $4.99 for the all-star level, and $9.99 for the superstar level. So pro, you get one chat. You get name. You get all the other stuff like badges by your name, priority chats, etc., etc. All-star, you get all the chats except for the Refuse to Lose chat, and then all the stuff that comes with the pro level. And superstar, you get all the chats, including the Refuse to Lose chat and the parlay chat and everything at the previous levels. So you want to, and by the way, we're doing a free trial with college football, college basketball, baseball, not NFL, NBA, neither of those, but I believe we have a hockey one now. So we're doing free trials with those. So if you want to do that, you just enter your name. We'll get you a nose. You can see how the chats are. If you want to stay there, you stay. If you want to leave, you're free to bounce. Free, no trial, none of that. All right. So I'm going to introduce my first guest, who's not a UConn fan, so I'll do him first. You've seen him on the Refuse to Lose Network. He's an Eagles fan. He joined the Bracket Challenge this year. He won the Bracket Challenge this year, so he's on here to talk his trash. I'm going to bring him up in a second. All right, cool. I got the noise ready. I got Kev, one of the most hated in the chat. Kev, what you do, Kev?
What's up, man? I'm just here to spread the hate, you know. There's more hate to be spread.
All right, cool. Hey, look, let's get negative. Y'all know what I be saying in the chat. My second guest, he is the UConn fan. If I could pull his name up, I would, but I don't know why I can't get it to pop up. But his name is I Told Y'all back in December, and he definitely did. Back-to-back national champs. We got Tony, Dave's brother Tony. What up, Tony?
What's up, dude? Hi, Tim.
All All right. So we got a national championship game to talk about. Let's read these two comments and we'll get right into it. So Joe say, I guess I don't know if he meant to do this twice, but he put "Let's go Kevo" twice. So I'm gonna just show the second one, and then he says, "Shout out to Kev for winning the bracket." Which, hey, you gonna have your moment to shine after we talk about this natty. But
Yes,
first,
sir.
let's get into this natty. We had a double-digit win by UConn. I mean, they've been doing it for the past two tournaments. They averaged a 20 plus points per game winning margin in this year's tournament and last year's tournament. One of the most dominant performances in men's college basketball history, as we're just seeing it unfold right before our eyes. So let's talk about the game a little bit, and I would start by saying this. Lance Jones, I talked about him being inconsistent. He starts the game with an and one layup, free throw, and he kind of went ghost on the offensive end for the rest of the game. I know AJ was like, yeah, there go my boy Lance. We're going to need you. And he's gone. He just didn't do much. I mean, he got a charge on one end, which I thought was a flop. Then he got a blocking call on one end, which I thought was the charge, but I feel like since he flopped on that one thing, they kind of used it against him the next time. Zach Edey came out on fire. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't say this in the chat, but I immediately thought this. I thought, okay, Iowa came out on fire. Caitlin Clark came out on fire against South Carolina, but can he maintain it? Iowa didn't maintain it, and I don't think Zach Edey maintained it either. I think the pace of the game ruined Zach Edey. You could tell that the pace of the game was getting to him, and then they tried to sit him, and as soon as they sat him, UConn went right to the paint and scored, and they was like, nah, we need you back in there, bro. He sat for a total of 33 seconds. That's it. Sat him for 33 seconds, and that was it. He played the rest of the game. They needed him. He cannot sit. UConn was pushing the pace. Cam Spencer came out, scored 7 points early. Tristan Newton had a couple big buckets early. Stephon Castle was kind of getting it going here and there. Alex Caravan didn't really do much on the offensive end. He kind of hit a three late in the second half. But Donovan Clingan just did everything he could to try to contain Zach Edey. He only had one foul. Funny enough, Dan Hurley sat him after his first foul. Like, immediately he fouled him. Boom, sit. I don't know if it was just to protect him. I don't know if it was just to be like, look, we won't need you. I don't know what it was, but he sat him. Brought in Samson Johnson. Immediately gets 2 fouls. In comes Donovan Clingan. But like I told Tony in the chat and prior to the show, what changed the game, in my opinion, was Dan Hurley was coming on the court to talk to the ref about something. And Zach Edey was talking that hot stuff to Dan Hurley. Which, all right, you're cooking right now. You got the 2 blocks on the defensive end. You had like 14 quick points. Like, he was doing his thing. But, bruh, don't poke the bear of Dan Hurley, bruh. Don't do it. Talk that trash. And Dan Hurley, I know he used that as fuel for his team. He probably went like, look at him. He think he like that. Oh, he think he tough? Shut him down. Scored 2 points the rest of the half. Didn't do nothing. And then came out second half, was breaking, couldn't get a rebound. It was just all bad. So, Tony, I'm going to let you talk about the game, and then I'm going to go to you, Kev. Go ahead, Tony.
I mean, the game kind of went the way I thought it would. Now, I would tell you, in sense, the referees kept that game from being a 20-point win because there were a lot of calls that were called on Cleon on the fouls that weren't really fouls.
The fourth one, what was that, the third or the fourth one? For sure.
Yeah, it was just crazy, some of those things that were going on. But the plan, so they kind of went with NC State's plan. They just did it better. If you watch that game with NC State, they pressured full court, and that's pretty much what they did with Castle. They were like, all right, we're gonna pressure you full court. We're gonna run through your little screens. We're going to do all the things that most other teams can't do because we're bigger. And see, the one thing most people don't realize about Stephen Castle is how he's a solid 6'6". Like he's not a small. He's a solid 6'6", and he reminds me a lot of Pippen the way he plays. And you know that I'm gonna play defense. I'm gonna give him my body. You're gonna have to really beat me to score. You know, and if you notice, probably about halfway through that game when UConn really started to go up, there was one play where who was it? Can't remember who it was, but he came down and got a layup, and Edey was the last one to make it down the court because he was dead. He had no legs.
I want to say that was Castle. Was that not Castle?
No. I don't think it was Castle.
It was even Castle, I think, or Newton.
I think it was
I know what play you're talking about. It was like a fast
I don't
break.
think it was. I think Castle I think Castle was that got the assist on that play. No. Tristan Newton got the assist on that play, but it was just like he had no legs. He was coming down the court and he was done. And you saw in the end when Cleon kept getting the alley dunks and stuff like that. You know, he was getting those dunks coming around the side of him. He had no legs to jump anymore. They ran him into the ground. And I mean it was typical UConn basketball. Be up by whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Be up by whatever it is at halftime, and then go on a run to start the second half. And that's basically what they did. Tristan Newton hit a 3-pointer, a deep 3-pointer. You know, I think he was I think he was showing some NBA teams that, hey, look, you know, I know I can pass, and I know I'm a big guard. I can pass and everything, but unlike Jason Kidd, I can actually shoot too. You know, so shots,
man. I'm throwing no Maverick shots, all right?
It's not a mad shot.
No.
It's more so like New Jersey than Dallas.
I know. I just had to say.
He came out. He couldn't shoot. Right. He developed into a better shooter as his career went on. When he first came in, like he couldn't hit the backboard. The backboard was 40 feet wide. So it was crazy. But anyway, I mean, it was a pretty. Now I cannot, because there's no one to press the button. I cannot repeat. I can't repeat what our coach, what Dan said to Zach when Zach came and said something back to him. Because if you read his lips, he went Jersey, New York on him. You know, it was shut the blank up. And after that, he turned around, went to his team, and there was like a totally different UConn team that came out. They called a timeout. Now I will tell you, so to answer your question about the whole thing with Cleon when they sat him after the first foul, that's actually about the time that he sits all anyway. It had nothing to do with the foul. That's the time he sits anyway. They've noticed that playing him that way has saved him from you know, his foot and all, and his hand and things like that. It saves him in the game. But man, they made Purdue for this season has turned out to be a pretty good 3-point shooting team. They made one last night.
I was gonna bring that up.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was crazy to see how that went. You know, and then to even try to get them all, like, dude, they probably, I don't know if they watched film to know that UConn is one of the top 5 scrambling defenses in college basketball. Not they play really good defense, but as far as scrambling defense, knowing where to go. And last night was probably Cam Spencer's best game on defense. I've never seen him play defense like that before.
He blocked a shot on the 3-point attempt, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
and I was like, what is going on? What's going on with him tonight? Right. And I was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? I even Caravan blocking the shot and stuff like that, you know, and doing the small things. And that team was dangerous for one reason. And Kev, you'll understand this more than anything because your team was like this for a while. Dallas was like this. So it was like this for a long time, man. You never know which player is going to be the hot player.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best way to go.
You never know which player is going to be the hot player that night. It can be Cam. It can be Caravan. It can be Castle. It could be anyone off the anyone in that man rotation coming out there. You never know. That's why I told people that everybody knows that my college football team is Georgia, and my college basketball team is UConn. And this will be the last thing, bro. I think for sure that this year Dan adopted the same thing that Kirby did when Georgia went back to back. He made up this big thing that it was them against everybody. No one believes that they're going to win. No one believes that they're that good. No one believes that they can do it again. And remember, that was the whole mindset that Kirby put on Georgia when they went back to back. That second year, that's what he did. He fed them something mentally that wasn't true. Everybody was talking about them like they were great. Oh, they just talking about you're great just to sucker you in to go out there and play big headed.
I remember that.
You got to go out there and win, and that's what he did. And if you watch them play, they were never. The person that keeps them together is Tristan Newton. He is by far the one that keeps them together. I have never seen. Now, the only game that I can think of where he, and I'm almost certain he's a trash talker, right? He just looks like he is. I just think he's one of those undercover trash talkers. But he got caught in the game. I want to say it was the game against Alabama where he got teed up with the other guy. I think it was the game against Alabama. Was it Alabama?
Yeah, I can't remember who it was though.
Yeah, I think
was it Sears? No.
It wasn't Sears.
It wasn't Sears. I can't remember who it was.
It was one of the white players. I don't know who he was. It doesn't matter. They lost. But the issue was like he's a trash talker and they follow his lead. And if he comes out there and he plays tough in the beginning, they follow that lead. If he comes in there and they run the offense the way they're going to run the offense and stuff like that, it's because of what he does. You know what I'm saying? Now, shout out to Purdue. I'm just being honest right now. I'm not going to go in there and be like I did last night because I've been using the Kobe thing all the whole time. Like that fourth quarter. Hey, you played a good game, bro. But anyway, Purdue had a great season, man. They went way beyond what I thought they were going to do because they played really weak, man. And this year showed me that first of all, their coach can coach. That's the one thing. I thought that they had good teams to make it further, but I thought that he always got out coached. This year, he kept it simple. He kept things simple with him, and they had a great season. So anyway, I'm not going to gloat too much. I mean, no need to gloat when you got things like this right here. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. You know, when you got trophies and stuff like that right there. When you got those things right there to go put in the mantle, being 6-0, in national championship games, things you can gloat about, going, winning 12 straight games by 13 points or more. You can gloat about things like that, right? Playing against a team that was a pretty good scoring team and going on a 30-0 run. I mean, things like that you can gloat about, right? But what you really want to talk about is they came together as a unit. And the only way you win games is to come together as a unit and play. Yeah. But anyway, thanks, man. Thanks for having me on. I'm not going anywhere because I got to hear what Kev got to say.
All right, cool. Before you go, Kev, I got to catch up with some comments, and I got you. Joe says, Mister, you had a nice season, referring to Tony talking to AJ before the game. He told him that before the game. Joe says, Tony, 3 years, 4 championships by his favorite teams. This is absolutely true. Georgia and what? Yeah, it's three. Georgia, UConn. Dave says, and Edie went missing after that, referring to what I was talking about in the second half. Nice background. Kev says, Dave. I'm pretty sure there's a joke in that. Joe says, yes, because that could have been a block, but he was gassed, referring to one of the oops, and including Samson Johnson was getting oops off that as well. Samson started it off with 2 of them joints. And then Dave, he brought up a list for Kentucky. So he said Kentucky list is 1, Dan Hurley, which, okay, good luck. I don't see that happening. 2, Scott Drew, which me being selfish, don't want to see that happen because after 2021, I felt like my life was complete. That Scott Drew was able to come full circle, coming from that scandal that got him the job to get him a natty. I don't want him to leave Baylor. 3, Billy Donovan, which part of me wants him to leave the NBA, part of me doesn't. Especially not in Kentucky being so great at Florida. I kind of don't want to see that to happen. And the rest of the comment says Billy Donovan. I would be very surprised if he got past number 2.
Really quick, let me respond to this right here. First of all, number 1 ain't gonna happen.
That's what I said.
Right.
Good luck.
He is royalty, and he is the new Calhoun at UConn. He's not going anywhere. And they got a great recruiting class coming in. He's not going to let that go. So David can he can go ahead and do that. And miles ago, he should have made that. He made Scott Drew number 1 because Dan Hurley ain't going nowhere. Dan Hurley should have been honorable mention.
Hey, look, man, I agree. I don't think Dan Hurley going anywhere. Two straight is dominant. UConn about to throw everything in the kitchen sink at Dan Hurley. So yeah, bro, not going nowhere. And Tomo with the last comment says, Kev, nice hoodie, Kev. # it's a Dallas thing.
Nah, it's just math, bro. It's just math. I'm sorry. It's just math.
All right, Kev, go ahead and talk about the natty, bro. It's on you.
Beautifully set up just for Tomo. But I'll be talking about the game, right?
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
man.
Natty. Your bracket time coming. Your bracket time
I
coming.
know. But we talking about the game, but I'm still gonna give a shout out to AJ, man. Boilermakers. I'm like, are you gonna bring a repairman to a dog fight? No pun intended. Like, come on now. But the game, like the boy Edie, he was going off of what he could do, but that's in any championship game, whether it's college, pro, you don't get off the bus to a championship game with one guy. It's not gonna happen. You had no chance in the first place. Nobody else stepped up. That was murder she wrote right there. Like y'all talking about him being gassed. I mean, how much you think he got in the tank? He was doing everything that he could to keep him in the game. So one man show against a championship team, they just won. Like it was an easy pickings. But shout out to Purdue though for even making it a game at one point, and just for actually making it that far. But it was, I don't think they ever had a chance, to be honest. It would have took like a miracle of guys just to get hot one night for them to win that game in the first place. I don't have too much to say because y'all just said basically everything pretty much when it came to the game. But Edie, he definitely put on the show, and his stock just went up just off this game. And I'm seeing how he himself tried to put the team in his back, but just wasn't enough. He was going up against a juggernaut. He had no shot.
All right, cool. I'm going to speak again, but I got to get through some comments real quick. Dave tells Tony this isn't my list. Remember that? So he's just doing his job. He's just reporting. And Tomo laughed at Kev about the Mavs thing. Joe says, you think the Mavs could use, I'm assuming Zach Edey, Joe?
Not now. I mean, we got Gafford. He's still young, and we got Lively. I don't think.
Lively a rookie. So.
Huh?
No, I was saying Lively a rookie.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, we could, but, I mean, we got other places we need to fill after this year. So, I mean, not now. Maybe the Kings can use them, though. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so I just wanted to bring up something else. Tony alluded to. He ain't even alluded to it. He said it. Purdue is a good 3-point shooting team. They didn't only just make one. They attempted 7. They attempted 7 threes. And like 2 or 3 of them got blocked. I remember Stephon Castle blocked one from Braden Smith with the shot clock running down. Cam Spencer blocked one. So not only were their best weapon taken away, which is the 3-point line, because the perimeter defense of UConn is just so locked down. It was Zach Edey or bust. I got some numbers. Trey Kaufman, who I talked about before the show, 4 points. I think 2 of those was at the line. No. Both for the both field goals. 4 points. Zach Edey, obviously 37-10. Now, was it like what's the word I'm looking for? Was it, I don't want to say efficient. Was it an impactful 37? I say half of it was impactful. The other half, not really. Braden Smith was the next highest scorer besides Zach Edey with 12. And I brought up Braden Smith. I said that in the chat anyway. I was like, when he's driving, he's not even looking to score. He was just looking for Zach Edey the whole time. It was one time he drove and just threw the ball up, and Zach Edey just dunked it on Donovan Clingan. And I mean, yeah, they've been doing that all year, but it was like amplified when playing against UConn. That defense didn't even let him look to score. It was like one time he went to the basket and he got aggressive and he made it. And then one time in the second half, he got aggressive and missed it. After that, we got Fletcher Lawyer. Almost called him his brother again. Fletcher Lawyer, a donut, a goose egg, 0 for 5, 0 for 1 for 3. I said I knew Fletcher Lawyer was not going to be able to do his thing in this game. Lance Jones, 5 points. The and one layup and one other basket in the second half I brought up. And then you have off the bench, you only had 2 points off the bench, and that was the putback dunk. That was crazy, by the way. That putback dunk was insane. That's the only bench points.
My God, dude. Even I jumped up. And it was on my team. I was like, oh, God.
That was crazy. I thought he was going to get the rebound. I didn't think he was going to put it back.
The ball was on his wrist at that.
Yeah.
I was like,
I thought he was grabbing the rebound. I'm like, all right, he's going to come to the rebound and bring it down. No, he dunked it.
I was like, who back he stepped on?
Man, what? So, yeah, man. That defense, like you said, Tony, Stephon Castle playing 94 feet. I seen Stephon Castle so many times, like, grab the screener, get out the way, man. You ain't doing nothing. I'm right here. He gave Braden Smith fits, but the entire UConn team caved those guards at Purdue fits. I was screaming in the chat, like, UConn is exposing these guards. Like, it just looked like they were uncomfortable under that defensive pressure. So, definitely big shout out to y'all defense. Shout out to Dan Hurley. Shout out to UConn back-to-back champs. Tony, any last statements before we move on?
Nah, man, they just didn't expect for them. So I think they underestimated UConn's length. I think that was the biggest thing about that. So when everybody thought for sure that they may go on a run when Caravan went to center, but what they didn't understand is that UConn was going to give them so much help, but they weren't going to get. They were giving it to him at the right time. Every time Edie took that first bounce and went for the second bounce, they were rushing him. And they were faking it so much that he was hesitant and was picking the ball up and had to throw it back out and had to start all over again. So they were down the shot clock so much, and then sometimes they came down there and I didn't understand some of the shots they were taking because they were taking them so early in the shot clock. We did the same. We did a couple of those too, but they did it a lot. He just got uncomfortable, man. And then this is just like what Kev said. This is what happened when you rely on one player. They relied on him the whole time. Sometimes they had open shots and they just wouldn't take them. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what was going on. And we were laughing in here at it, and we was like, well, dang, that was 2 points. Good. Thank you. You know, but anyway.
Button. It was like get to Edie, get it to Edie. Just give it to Edie. I don't care what you do. It was like some movie type stuff. Just get the ball to Edie. Like, come on.
It's like Rebound. Y'all remember Rebound, the movie when they had the tall, bro?
Hey, bro, and you know what happened? Eventually, UConn kept eating ice cream. Eating that ice cream. Eating.
All right, Kev, any final comments?
I mean, it was an easy pick, man. Like I said, you don't bring repairman to a dogfight, man. It's just Purdue, they already reached their heights by just getting there. You know what I'm saying? If they would have got it, yeah. So I mean, in inside the building, they feel like they got their championship inside. This is just like build a step towards next year to see if they can make another run. I'm not sure who they got coming back. So.
This was their chance to max out.
There's a lot of tickets.
Twitter jokes. But I saw somebody say, like, oh, Matt Painter did his thing. They went to the national championship for the first time since the 60s. This team was really good, but it's really good for NIT championship next year. So I ain't taking it that far, but it was funny. It was funny. But I do feel bad. I do have to say this. Shout out Tristan Newton. Back-to-back MOPs of the tournament was player of the tournament last year in the Final Four and got it again this year, averaging more points. He averaged 19 the 2 games last year. This year he averaged 20. So shout out to Tristan Newton, man. ECU transfer, did his thing, and now he's going out a 2-time champ. Should be getting the NBA look. But I got to go at these comments real quick, and then we got to give Kev his bragging rights. So Joe says the Kings could use Zach Edey. Joe's been complaining for a center, a real center for at least a year and a half now.
That's how he asked me.
My bad. Go ahead, Kev.
I was just saying, just like he asked me, could the Mavs use? I'm like, before we made that trade, but now y'all can definitely use them now.
Yeah. Joe definitely been asking for that.
We was like 2 of the smaller teams in the NBA at one point. So yeah.
Yep. And then Joe says that's the least amount of threes Purdue attempted in 9 years. And then his last comment says, what Kev say, have you ever seen a Boilermaker beat a Husky? That was in the chat. So moving on to Kev. This is Kev's moment to shine. He is our bracket refuse to lose champion. First time ever doing a bracket, correct?
For full outline, like actually taking the time. Yeah, for sure.
So first ever bracket done. He won our challenge. I'll do the top 4. So Kev got first, Teddy got second, I got third, and Smoketh AJ got fourth. AJ took 2 L's last night. He was like, because we was talking about the game, AJ was like, well, at least I'm in front of you. I said, AJ, you do realize if UConn wins, I'm in front of you now, right? And so UConn won. It ruined his chance of winning his bracket, and he dropped below me and Teddy. So AJ came in 4th, but hey, 4th ain't last. So shout out to that. Shout out to everybody who participated. Hopefully next year it gets bigger. Join the NCAA basketball chat and you can join. There's no money, no nothing. Just join. It's all for fun. It's all for trash talking pride. But that's enough of me talking. Kev, what you guys say to the people about winning the bracket?
Before I start, boasting and bragging, the percentage win on that, is that just for the last game? Was that for the entire bracket?
Nah, I think that's entirety of the bracket.
Okay, cool. Well, I want to start off by saying, shout out to me. I got to pull a Snoop. But apparently it was like a 95%.
I'll look it up and I got you. Go ahead, keep going.
Something like that, I believe. But yeah, man. So to be honest, I mean, you can call it beginner's luck. Now I know what it feel like for somebody to just be, just say the people that bet and gamble all the time will just be all watching all the games and then get it wrong. Somebody just come in out of nowhere, be like, oh, I want that team, and then win it. If you want to call it beginner's luck, you can call it that, but it's an entire bracket. How did I do it? Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is what I did. When you go to the little bracket app, and I got every team listed and the opponents and things of that nature. All I did was give the information that was there. Go off the last 5 games of every team, looked at their opponents, the strength of their opponents and things of that nature. How did they do against those opponents? And just took the numbers and compared it like that. And that's how I made my picks on my team. So it came out on top. You call it lucky all you want. Carl, how the heck did you? What place you come in?
3rd.
Oh, you jumped. You was like a 6 at first.
I was in 8th.
Oh yeah, something like that. Yeah. But I mean, hey, it's all for bragging rights. But shout out to AJ though for even going with Purdue the whole way. But shout out to me again because a lot of guys was clowning me because I did have Texas A&M going to the championship.
That question was coming.
Kyle was going crazy. I mean, it was going according to the formula I used for my entire bracket. I like the matchups that they had. I think one of the matchups, I think it was it Florida? It was Tennessee. I think it was Tennessee or Florida that messed up my it was Tennessee, Florida, I can't remember, that messed up my matchup when it came in Texas A&M. So
talking about your bracket?
Huh? Let me pull it up.
Bracket. I can pull your bracket up right now.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Keep talking. I'm about to pull your bracket up, and then I can
yeah, I was riding with Texas A&M. No, I thought they had a big shot at making it at least to the final, to the championship, actually. Yeah. I think they got put out in the Elite 8.
Round of 32, my boy. You aimed too far when you said that one.
All right, that's all right though. But and look, what Big Glow say? At the end of the day gonna end. And guess what? At the end, I'm still a champ. So that's that. But yeah, shout out to AJ though for riding with Purdue though, because nobody people's clowning him for taking Purdue, and he was sticking with it. He was talking trash and everything down to the wire, or down to the first half. My bad. But go ahead.
All right, cool. I got your bracket right here. So you had Texas A&M beating Nebraska, which I did as well. You had Texas A&M beating Houston, which it took overtime. I think double overtime for Houston to win that game.
Hey, that's the game they lost. Yeah.
You had Texas A&M beating Duke, which you're crazy. You had Texas A&M. Then no. Who was your actual pick? Yeah, you had Texas A&M beating Duke. Then you had Texas A&M beating. Actually, you had NC State in the Elite 8. So shout out to you for that one.
NC State was my second team that
I was riding. On that one. So NC State was the one you were talking about with Florida, because you had NC State beating Florida, but Marquette took out Florida in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
That was who you was talking about there. So shout out to you for that one. That's a really good pick. So we clowned you for Texas A&M, but NC State made you actually look really good. So that's the balance, right?
I was riding with NC State. I mean, DJ Burns, man, that dude.
Hey, nice.
Yeah, slim nice. I caught eye of him during the season. I was just like, man, I like that dude. Been paying attention to NC State ever since, especially after that North Carolina game. Doing the I was really watching that game. That really was like, oh yeah, these dudes serious. But go ahead.
So NC State is what helped you, but Jamal Shea getting hurt against Houston is what put you over the top, because that allowed me and Teddy couldn't pass you because Houston got put out so early. I know I had Houston in the championship. I want to say Teddy had him in the championship. I'm gonna pull him up. But all right, cool. So you kind of explained why you picked Texas A&M. You looked at the matchups. I'm pretty sure you just saw Texas A&M. They was like offensively putting up a bunch of points.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I felt that was your reasoning there. You just explained why you picked NC State with DJ Burns. What made you pick UConn as your champion?
UConn was just the obvious pick, to be honest. Before I started my bracket, UConn was going to be my pick. It wasn't even no thought behind the UConn pick, to be honest. That was my only definite pick that I had in my bracket. Like it was no.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead. Finish. I thought you was done. Go ahead, finish.
I was about to say I ain't really had no analytics or nothing like that when it came to UConn. I mean, UConn just I've been watching them all year too. I was actually betting with them throughout the season. So UConn just always came through, and I see like you say, they're a jam-packed team. Like they've been you don't gotta worry about just one star player. Like they've been hooping all season. So it was an easy pick. It wasn't nothing to it.
Yeah, so I had Houston in my championship, which really screwed me. Also had Kentucky in like my Elite Eight, which definitely screwed me. Teddy, all right, so I'm gonna do this, Kev. You finished first with a 95.4 since I got your stats up here. 95.4, 1290 points total. Teddy finished second with 1180, 88.5% bracket, 1180 points total. I finished third with 1090 points total, 82% bracket. AJ finished fourth with 1,000 points, a 75.6% bracket. Trent came in fifth with 650, or tied with fifth with Tomo with 650. By the way, Tomo, you had North Carolina in your championship, so you cannot blame me for nothing. 650 as your champion, excuse me. You had UNC as your champion, which they would have played UConn before the championship game, so you can't blame me for nothing. 650, 48% brackets, tied for fifth. Then Javon, Dave, and Jovan and Jovan. Sorry, Joe. I think it's Jovan and Javon. They all came tied with seventh, 630 points, 45.7% brackets completion percentage. Joe came in 10th with 550, 35.2%. And Mark came in last with 390, 15.1%. So that's how the brackets ended up shaking.
Oh, for the record.
Go ahead.
I did this bracket in less than 15 minutes. Like I was at work, about to leave, was like, let me do this bracket. Because the time I put it in like that, almost at the last minute. It's probably like he's about to shut down at this time. Like, oh shoot, that's when I start looking.
I gave multiple warnings, by the way.
Exactly. I saw it. I was like, man, let me have it just put it in. Let me just have it just do it. Because I was like, I always wanted to actually do a whole bracket. Because normally when I start, I never finish because there'd be so many teams. I'm not really. That's one thing that scares me from watching college basketball. So many teams to follow. It's just like I can never catch all the games. I'm already a football junkie at that. So it's like when it comes to college basketball, so many teams and games, I can't follow it. So I was like, I at least want to do this one time, man. Hey, better believe I'm doing it again next year just to see.
Yeah, and trust me, I know. But Tony, I saw you wanted to say something.
Yeah, real quick. I just want to say that you almost had a UConn style victory, man. It was almost double.
You said what?
just watch it. I was like, I heard the discrepancy between first and second place. I was like, God dang.
Houston killed me and Teddy. That's what it was. Houston killed us.
Arizona killed me though. I was right. I ain't gonna lie. I was taking the info from the chat on Arizona.
Tomo had who in the national championship?
He had North Carolina winning. I don't know. All right, let me look at his championship team for you. His championship game. I got you. By the way, he killed me for changing Gonzaga, and I told him his national championship game was North Carolina versus South Carolina. Ain't nobody tell him to do that.
He said, did he say it was a glitch? He said it was Blitzgate?
No, he said he picked the Carolinas. I never told him the South Carolina going all the way. Now, I'm a South Carolina fan. I ain't do that. I don't know who told him that.
So here's my thing. Right, and I say this about both those teams in North Carolina. There was only one real team in North Carolina, in the state of North Carolina. And here's what I mean by that. They both went into the tournament as lame ducks, in my opinion. They both went in as lame ducks. To lose to that team right there, to lose to NC State the way and the man, like, really?
I watched that.
And I don't and here's my thing. I agree with you, Carl, that NC State by their record probably was ranked where they probably should have been, right?
Their resume as well.
Yeah, and the resume also. However, as this is why I say that sometimes as when they're making these they got to look at the teams at that point in time, not just look at the things that were going on with their resume and things like that. Look at what's happening at that point in time, because NC State for me was probably about a 7th or 8th seed, and just about how they were playing. And I agree, and I know you're going to disagree in a sense, right? But the only reason why I say that is because of how they were playing. They were playing more like they were the dominant team in the ACC, and for them to win the tournament and only get an 11th seed was just like, you're making it easy for them, because everybody thought, like, if you look at where they were placed, they didn't have a difficult path to get to where they were.
Yeah, they got Texas Tech. Now, see, so what happened was Kentucky getting upset by Oakland made it look easier than what it would have been.
You're right, but I still think they would have beaten Kentucky.
That's a possibility for sure. I'm not, especially with Kyler Parry's recent track record, that's not beyond the scope of possibility.
And that's all I'm saying. Like the seeding in that's why I'm a little weary about this new football style of doing, this new way of having the college football playoff.
Hey, hold on. Save all that, because that's coming up. That's coming up. And if you want to talk about it, I'll have you on for that. We can definitely talk about that.
All right. So I'll leave that then. But certain things just make me think, because now everything's about money, right? With NCAA. That's the reason why Caitlin Clark was in the national championship game. Regardless of what anybody want to say, that's the reason why she was there, because she made money. It was the story and the money behind her. Everybody knows that, because they definitely should have lost in the Sweet 16. There's no reason why they made it past the Sweet 16 other than them calling these weird fouls to put them on the line to allow them to make it to the Elite Eight. That's the only reason why they got there. Go back and look at the game. They lost that game. And if the referees didn't call these phantom fouls like they did against UConn, when UConn went up by 12,
that was a crazy.
If they didn't do that same thing there, they wouldn't even have been in the game against UConn. It's all about
exactly what foul you're talking about. You're talking about the one where Leah Edwards stepped back and they called a foul?
Both KK too.
Yeah, I know that one.
They parted like the Red Sea. And the referee was like, "Oh my God, their win is preventing her from scoring."
Yeah, I knew that's exactly the way he was going.
What? I was like, what? But I'm just saying, but that's what they want, because now everything about college sports, which I don't like a lot, is about money. And they want to and that thing with Caitlin Clark. Now, I'm not taking nothing. Here's what I'm telling you. I'm not taking nothing away from Caitlin Clark. She was the best player in college, women's college basketball this year. All right, she was by far the best, and she's probably the best. And I'm a UConn fan, all right. And I still think that my girl is, if she wouldn't have got hurt, would still be the best right now. But what I'm saying is that she has been the best. However, her team hasn't been the best. So everybody sitting there and talking about it. Diana Taurasi wasn't really bad mouthing her as much as she was, okay, but the way I read it was more so the anger at what happened in that game.
My issue with Diana was the tone. It was the whole "would you choose Paige and Caitlin" thing, and she like completely dismissed Caitlin, like it's not even a question. Like, why are we asking this question? And the other thing was, like, she said, it's just the tone. And when she said Caitlin got a rude awakening, it's different. It's like, this is different. It's levels. Cool. We understand this transitional period for.
Did she say her name?
Huh?
She said her name.
No. The question was about Caitlin, and she Diana never said her name, but the question was about Caitlin.
It was okay.
Yeah, and that's what it was.
I caught the answer. That's why I was like, I don't think she was talking about her, because I didn't hear.
No, she was definitely talking about her.
Go back and look at Swing Cash, Breonna Stewart. Go look at all the greats that played at UConn. Look at what they said. They all kind of said the same thing.
I got a question.
Kind of said the same. It's just that Diana Taurasi has a show that gets watched all the time with her and Sue Bird. And when she got asked the question, she has that spotlight on her. Diana Taurasi ain't one to hold her tongue. So
that's true. But it was her tone. It was like so like
it's kind of like me and David had that argument about Tiki Barber, and I said it really wasn't so much that he said something that Giants fans weren't thinking about. It's just who it came from.
Yeah, that's true. I said the same thing too. But go ahead, Kev.
Now I was about to ask, how much of an influence does the WNBA have on women's basketball in college?
What do you mean?
I'm just saying, like what Tony alluded to about them pushing Caitlin to get to the championship and stuff like that. How much influence does the WNBA? Because like it was spoken about earlier,
this is asking, do the WNBA have a hand in pushing someone to the national
I'm just saying that because I mean
no.
That's why I was saying I don't know how much influence they do have because
don't nobody go to the WNBA games. So
that's what I was saying though.
We're not doing that on this. We're not doing that on this. We're not doing that on this. We are not doing that here.
No.
Right now is the time. Right now is the time. It's perfect timing for the WNBA to take a hold of what's going on right now.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, they doing it.
So with that being said, business is business.
Well, I mean, it was a storyline. If you look in that championship game, like, if you look at the championship game, South Carolina we're playing pretty good. Yeah, she came out pretty well, but then they started playing real tough defense on her. So much so that even in that game, you see the push off that she had.
Yeah, I talked about that on my show.
I know. I forgot. I forgot about it because I watched it. But you saw that dude, like she was in the air, like kind of like the girl when she got picked by our girl, right? So I was like, so what's the that's what showed me. But see, the thing about it is that unlike UConn, South Carolina had a full squad, so they couldn't do the same thing that they did. UConn was gassed. I know, regardless of anybody want to say, reason why Edwards Edwards is normally out further for that pick. She was just tired. She came out for a while because getting punished by Gino, but she was tired. They only had a 7-man rotation. They only had a 6-man rotation. They dressed 7.
Yeah, I was about to say they only played 6 that game.
They only played 6, so they were gassed, in that game. But that was that game. But man, hey, look, congratulations, bro. That's what I really wanted to say. Congratulations, especially for someone just picking it for the first time and doing it in 15 minutes. That was very Belichick-like.
I ain't gonna.
Congrats. But I got one question for you, Kev.
Yeah, what's up?
Did you listen to CTC at all? And I'm not saying this and like no like bragging. I'm just asking, did you?
Oh yeah, I mean a couple of my picks I definitely did because I take heed to everything.
It was more of an appreciation question.
No, for sure. I'm definitely gonna pay my homage to you because, like I say, it's nobody I know of that has the knowledge that when it comes to college basketball or college sports period, as you. So I took heed to a lot of stuff you said. I mean, also made my picks up. A lot of guys was making their picks too or trying to throw that info in there as well. But yeah, I didn't watch all the CTC, but when you was going the episode right before the tournament, I definitely watched that show.
Appreciate that. That's all that question was. Appreciate.
Hold on to certain information, like certain teams. If I keep hearing you talking about them, plus I be in the chat too though. So I peep game. So I'm definitely had a mental note in there on certain picks and stuff like that when it came to that.
All right, cool. So, as bracket champ, what is your last words? And then I'm gonna go to the comments.
Boilermakers.
Hey, as a person who don't like the Boilermakers because all them 7-footers, I'm with you. You're laughing up, bro. I'm with you. I'm tired of dealing with them as a State fan, bro.
There's nothing intimidating about a repairman. Except for the fact, never mind, I ain't going there. But
don't try to get me shut down, Gabe.
I just don't get it.
Don't try next.
I just don't get it though. I just don't get it. You see all these names: the Huskies, the Bulldogs, the Hurricanes.
The Hurricanes were not in it.
I know that. Look, don't disrespect us. All right? I try to slap a team in there. You know what I'm saying? But
they disappointed me, bro. You can't do that.
Yeah, but then you get the Boilermakers, like they just stand in the corner alone. Like even the Blue Devils, like Boilermaker, bro. Like that's an occupation.
Like these comments, and then I'm gonna let y'all get y'all true last words off. So Joe says, "Go DJ," talking about DJ Burns when Kev brought him up. And yes, Tomo, I'm assuming this is because Tony went off the rails about UConn. He says, "Carl, this is your show." I let Tony vent. He wasn't on my show to talk about the UConn Iowa game, so I let him do his thing. He got to talk about his UConn men's team winning it all. Who am I to stop him for letting his frustrations go about UConn women? I just let it ride, bro. I know when Tony was about to talk about football, I said, "Hey, save it. We'll talk about that later." I let him ride here. So Come on, man.
I like to point out that I followed instructions.
Yeah, come on, Tomo. I got this thing here, baby. All right, so my final words. Great college season, men and women. This tournament was absolutely phenomenal. I don't care about the people who say, "Oh, this tournament was too chalky. It's not as good." No, this tournament was absolutely great. The upsets were great. We had the Cinderella run of NC State. We had the Cinderella of Jack Gohlke. He got an NIL deal right after beating Kentucky. So, like, I don't know what more you want. So, great tournament, great season. Shout out to all the conference champions. Shout out to all the at-large bids. Shout out to the bid steals. Shout out to Seton Hall winning the NIT. Shout out to Seattle winning the CBI. And shout out to Norfolk State winning the CIT. Every champion is a champion, no matter what the champion is. So, shout out to all y'all. We're now hitting the offseason. You've been hearing about all these transfer portal entries, like Robbie Avila went the transfer portal today. He got the do not contact. He's going to St. Louis. He's following his coach. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. We are hitting UFL and football. So if you miss some college football, miss some NFL, hey, the UFL pretty cool. I was in the chat talking about it. Deep Sea Defenders won because Houston absolutely showed terrible clock management. You got the draft, 16 days from now. Y'all be on the lookout. CTC is doing something with my boy AJ very soon. Kev should be on the show as well. I'm throwing it out there now. AJ, if you're listening to this, Kev will actually be on. Let's bring Kev on. I know it's going to be 2 Eagles and a Raven. Hey, man, we talk how we feel.
You don't need no smoke, man. It's all college sports going. The transition. It's all about the transition.
Exactly. So, man, we got a lot to listen to here. Tony, you're going last since your team won it all. Kev, your true last words.
Again, shout out to me, man. First time, jumping out there to finish the bracket. Came out on top. 95% looks beautiful. I love to see 95% on top of the paper with the big red circle. And then if you're a little kid, you get the little sticker. Yeah, I love that.
That's not me. I didn't do that.
But shout out to my Canes, man. Hopefully we be in the next year or sometime soon, man. Let's get them NILs out there, man. We need to
tell them to bring me my money.
Yes, sir.
Good news for the Canes. Nigel Pack is coming back. Tony, your last words.
Hey, so you can't see my name on here, but I told y'all back.
I'm gonna try to bring it up, bro. I don't know why I can't. But go ahead.
I told you guys back in December. I told you what was going to happen. I told you how the season was going to go. I told you that they were just who they were. I think, and I was sitting there thinking while I was talking to you guys, and I was listening to Kev talk. I think, I think that the Creighton loss was a good thing for UConn. I thought that was a good game because when they came out the next game, it was another tough game after that, and then after that game, it was just like they were like a boat in shallow water. They were just steady. They were just steady.
St. John game was a good one for y'all too.
Yeah, but they got a good class coming in also. So don't be surprised. I'm not calling them to win it again, to win 3 straight. But don't be surprised to see them there again. I hope, because he doesn't need to do it because he's not ready. He needs to bulk up. I hope Donovan stays another year. He really does need to stay another year and bulk up. And then he definitely will probably go in the first 5 in the draft next year. Because of his size, he'll probably do that this year also. But he, in the top 10 at least this year. But he needs to stay another year. Castle can go. He's ready. That kid's ready. But anyway, hey, I do want to give homage to you, sir. Though while I'm sitting here, I fashion myself as being a sports guru. But when it comes to college sports, you, sir, do your research, and you do it very well. And I enjoy watching your show, and I appreciate you having me on. First of all. And just keep up the great work because I learn something every single time. I think I know everything, but I learn something every single time I watch your show. So I appreciate it very much, man.
So I appreciate the words. I appreciate y'all coming on. As always, people know it's an open door policy. Hit me in the chat. Hey, Carl, what you talking about? Can I get on? Boom, you here. Now, my true last word, because I got to say this. Tony, I apologize. I threw out there, y'all not running it back. I said Kansas was going to win it when they signed Hunter Dickinson, and I was wrong. And
My guy, you in the
there you
doghouse.
go. You got your apology. Y'all won back to back. I forgot. I did have to throw that out there. But that is all we got for y'all today. That's all we got for y'all this week. As y'all remember, I am completely on off-season mode. No more 2, 3, 4 shows a week. I'm doing one show a week. Normally Tuesdays, but next week will be a Wednesday because I'm having my boy come on. We're going to talk about MSU basketball. We're just going to wrap up the season, how we felt about the season. May talk about a little bit of next year, may not. That depends on how we feel, but there will be an MSU basketball wrap up next Wednesday. I might veer off and talk South Carolina as well, wrap it all in one, just get it out of the way. Or I might split into two and just create another day so I can have some more content, so I don't got to think of ideas. So we're going to see about that. But that's all we got for y'all today, and until next week, peace.
Refuse to lose. I'm built to win.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.